Well, it appears it is Friday night and we are going live. So I don't know if anybody's going to show up here because we didn't really do any kind of a pre thing, but we're going to talk for a minute or two. We are actually right now in Ryan's trailer. Oh, in case you don't know this guy.
What's up, guys?
That's Ryan.
What's going on?
So we're in Ryan's trailer right now. We didn't really get to do what we wanted to do. Hey, Charlie. We really didn't get to do what we wanted to do last Friday, just from circumstances coming up. So we wanted to kind of go over a few guys. Hey, Lewis. Hey, Carol. There's some people coming in. Hey, Todd.
What's going on, folks?
Cool.
Puerto Rico. Dang, that's crazy.
Wow. Pat from Ohio. Hey, guys.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, we got people chiming in. So I don't know if you guys remembered that we were actually doing this tonight, but we want to kind of go over some stuff that we were intending to do last week. By the way, thanks everybody for your thoughts and prayers and the stuff that we're going through right now. Geez, should have brought some water. I need some water. So we actually did a show last Sunday, right? Yeah, up in Knights Ferry.
On Sunday? Yeah. I thought you meant a YouTube live. I didn't think we did that. But yeah, last Sunday we were up at Knights Ferry, and it's a one-day show, and this is our second year doing it, and my gosh, the trailer made such a huge difference. It was unbelievable.
With setup and tear down and all that. Yeah.
Last year, because the show ends at 4:00 p.m. Last year, we didn't get home till about 7:30 or 8, and it's only a half hour away. This year, we were home with dinner unloaded by 5:15. Man, it made going to my regular job on Monday a whole lot nicer.
But the thing is, too, just even having the trailer and having everything set up the way you have made the whole thing just flow much better.
It was
because the year before you were just on a table with a pop-up, right?
Yeah, we had a pop-up, and then I would my wife would help me load my workbench in the bed of the truck, and we had boxes and all the layout letters and templates and all the tools and all the everything that we had to load up, make sure we had, but the trailer.
But how much of a difference did it make from the actual setup? Not talking about the tear down and the setup and the tear down, from actually carving in the trailer as compared to carving outside on a fold up table.
It was just a lot more organized. It was, because I have my spots where I set things up. I'm still I don't know, figuring it out or refining it, I guess would be a better way to go. But just even something as simple as, because I do my spray over here, we'll show you guys in a minute. But when you have a pop-up, if there's a gust of wind, you got to try to set cardboard up and, to block the wind and spray. If you're on a table on uneven ground and you have a sign with a lot of wording, one little bump and everything goes flying, Yeah. So just having the trailer to carve in, to spray in, it just so much better.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, the actual wind or breeze.
The wind was
trying
a
to
huge
do layout.
Yeah, the wind was a big deal, and then just displaying your signs, because we put them on the front of the trailer. Every aspect of it was easier.
You know what I didn't do? You know what I didn't do, guys? I apologize. I don't think I turned on the actual chat part of it. Gosh dang it, I'm so sorry. And now I don't know whether I have that availability or not.
There's a little chat button right there.
Let's see what that does. Top chat, live chat.
All messages are visible.
There we go.
All right.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know we could do that on the fly. See? Normally we set that up ahead of time. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, cool. All right, good. Now we can go back and look at comments, and thanks so much, guys. So appreciate all the thoughts and prayers. You don't know how much it really means. It just means so much to us. Thank you so much. So anyway, we wanted to go over a couple different things. As far as what we kind of learned together, you know, when we were up there. Ryan Garrett. Oh, your mom's on.
Yeah, hi, Mom.
That's your mom. Yeah.
Mom's not here. Yeah, remove that one. You can remove that one. Mom's
I
not here to tell me what to do now.
Yeah. You can give her crap right here.
Yeah.
But
I won't.
Anyway, so some of the things that came up, like for instance, we were we had forgotten the Western letters.
Yeah.
And somebody ordered a sign with Western letters off of a display, and so I was able to, because I've done it for so long, I was able to turn regular Clarendon letters into Western letters with just some, and actually we have videos on that where Dad has done that on camera. So you just draw a line and draw some little squigglies on there, and you can turn Clarendon letters into Western letters. What else kind of came up that we...
Because I carry 2 sanders. Well, Friday or Saturday, me and Dad were working out in the garage prepping, and one of my routers went out.
That's right.
So we had to run to Lowe's and get a router, and it was just the brushes, but nowhere around here sells brushes, so I had to order them from Amazon. So now I have 3 routers, but...
Because you ordered brushes, got them, put them in.
Put them in, yeah. I just put them in yesterday.
So now you have a third...
Now I have a 3rd router.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Still
very
got to
cool.
go on and order a 3rd base plate, but you know. And then I have 2 sanders, you know, a 40 grit and a 120, and one of them went out like the 2nd sign I did in the day.
I remember that. Yeah. It just completely.
It just
like froze up.
It started burning. You could smell it, and it was all bad.
And that's one of the bad parts about having about using, you know. But I use them too, those little skill sanders. They work great for a year or 2, but then you never know when they're going to go.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of bad timing.
And in case anybody's wondering, the Ryobi sanders,
those little dragster
yeah,
dragster ones? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have changeable brushes. Or at least I couldn't figure out how to change them. I don't think they have changeable brushes. So we're going to take ours out and blow them up with some guns.
Yeah, smash
It'll be
them with
good
a hammer
content.
or something, yeah.
Yeah.
I usually use a sledgehammer and smash them. Hey, Eric. All right, so what else was it that we wanted to... I'm trying to think of what we talked about.
So prep, because I've gotten several messages on Facebook, you know, because Dad doesn't do too many fairs now because he changed his business, but I'm doing the more fairs. Prepping for a fair is so huge, you know, having 10 to 12 of each of your standard sizes, and then having a chamfer on them, having them all cut, sanded to where all you got to do is grab them, lay them out, carve them, spray them, and sand them.
Yeah.
Any minute you can cut off of your time carving at the fair is the way to go.
As much prep work as you can, and beyond that, we talked about having a lot of signs that maybe stock signs, like the Live to Ride signs.
Right.
I know you've got Live to Ride signs, flags, whatever it is that it's a stock sign. Have some of those prepped, ready to carve. And I don't think there was maybe 15 minutes during the whole day that we didn't have the router running.
Oh yeah,
You know,
router was
either I
running
was
the entire
either I
time.
was carving or you were carving. I was laying out, you were laying out, but we had that router running. I don't think there was a 15 minutes during the total day that we didn't have that router running.
No, there was
You gotta
always,
keep that
always
router
something running.
And that paid off because people could hear it from literally all around. In fact, I did a little Instagram video where you could hear it clear from the other side of the grounds. So it worked out really good. Hey David, how are you doing, buddy? We talked about that prep. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around and kind of walk around in here. I want to show you a little kind of a palette display thing that we made that seemed to work pretty good.
Dad made. I came home and it was made.
Well, it was
pretty nice.
I had to do something. Anyway, so, I'm sorry, it's blurry, guys. Video is lagging? Huh.
Really?
Okay. Let me see here. Not sure why that is. Let's turn the camera around. So there's in fact, Ryan, you want to go out there and, so there's a little, see that little Rescue is my favorite breed? I think you sold 2 of those You sold two of those rescue signs, right? You went ahead and made them, but you sold them, right?
Just having this out, kind of, I don't know, it was on the corner of where we were at. I made $100 just off signs on this thing right here.
Really?
That people walked by and said, I like that, I want one of those. They didn't even look at the signs that were on the trailer or anything.
Yeah.
A lady came up and said, this is great, I want 2 of these, and then I have a We the People one. Some
Go ahead and spin it around so we can see the We the People. That one is really popular, I know that. Yeah, there it is right there.
At least with Americans. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, a lady bought one of these for her dad who is a veteran. You know, just having something like this out to display more different things paid off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then I know some people were asking about the generator. This is his power. Sometimes if you can run off of power that's local, you can run off an extension cord. But if not, you ran all day on that thing.
All day long.
Yeah, all day on that Predator. What is that? Is it 3,500 watt?
Yeah, this is the Predator 3500, and man, I can't say enough good things about this thing.
So it's akin to the Honda, but it's the Harbor Freight version.
It's the Harbor Freight version of the Honda.
Yeah.
And I mean, we took this thing up to Idaho to run our trailer with the air conditioner and everything. No problems. I run my trailer off of it. It's got plenty of power. The only thing is you do have to keep it in the shade. If you keep it shaded, it'll run all day long, no problem.
Huh.
And for the price, you know, it's...
So that thing was like $700.
It was $700 with a 2-year, no questions asked warranty. I dig this thing. You know, the Hondas are great, but you're paying $2,500, and I haven't sold that many signs yet. So, you know.
No, that thing it worked flawlessly. Yeah. And it was quiet, super quiet.
Oh, yeah.
It was flawless the whole time. People didn't even know it was running.
You couldn't hear this thing over, you know.
The router was much louder than that thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was flawless. Tons of power. Anyway, we highly recommend that Predator, the Predator generators.
And honestly, they have a 500 watt version. I think it's 500 watt. That you could probably run it. In fact, last year at that same fair, I borrowed the from my boss a Honda, I think 1200 watt.
Yeah.
And we ran everything off that. It's got the handle on it. It's just a little tiny one.
Yeah.
You know, Harbor Freight has one comparable to that I think is like $300 or $400.
Really?
You could run all the equipment in here off that thing, no problem.
Yeah.
We just got this for the camper.
So I'm just gonna kind of show you around. So there's he's got a shelf up there at the top. I don't know, you guys have probably seen this, but we've showed it before. There's some stock boards up there. So he put some shelving, but he's got to do some more. This has worked out really well. This little gang electrical unit. So this is what he plugs into with his you plug into that directly from your generator. The generator, and then he runs all of his routers and stuff plug into that. So it actually is there's a lot of his display signs here. Sorry if we're a little jumpy, guys. All right, so let's see what else. Oh yeah, we talked about organization. This little thing, these cheap little plastic drawer things work out really well. This is the first time you've used one of those in here, right?
Yeah,
Ryan?
yeah. I just took the wheels off and I screwed it into the braces.
So what kind of stuff do you have in there? Just extra clamps?
Extra clamps, tape, screws, pliers, you know.
Anything that you might need, yeah.
Yeah, and when I'm not carving in the garage, I put my my bits and everything in there, so.
Yeah, and then back here, you could use storage in between the studs, the 2x4s. You just got clamps there, but makes it nice. Some bar clamps there. But I'll walk outside and we'll get a look at this thing from the end. So there's kind of like what it looks like from the end. So what's the size of this thing, Ryan?
I want to say it's...
What is it?
6 by 10?
6 by 10?
5 by 5 or 6.
So this is the outside of it, in case you guys haven't seen it. So Ryan built this thing. He actually got the frame from He actually won it like in an auction, right?
Yeah, FFA auction.
And then Ryan built the walls and the whole thing on top of it. So it actually has worked out really, really well. And it pulls like a dream, you said, right? Yeah.
Pulls no problem.
So anyway, guys, that's about that. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I know some people, I got questions earlier in the week about pricing.
I'm gonna switch it then.
Switch what? Oh, switch it around?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's, see. Okay. I don't like calling, okay, let me see here. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate that. Start making signs. So let's see. Is the flag on the front of your template? Is the flag on the front from your template? The flag. What
Ryan
flag?
was sending on the flag from the other day.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I think that flag, how do you lay out your flag? Your one with the holes and stuff in it. Isn't that off of our original template?
Yeah, off the big American flag template.
Yeah.
So what I do is I just lay that out, and then I can't draw to save my life, and I'm not very creative, so I had my wife kind of just draw jagged edges on it and make it look worn. And she did that for the first one, but then I made a cutout template of it, so now I just use the spiral upcut bit and just cut them out.
But the layout on them, the stripes and the stars are from our original.
Right.
Yeah, that is from our, Bill, that is from our flag. Our flag layout template. Ryan, what do you charge for garden signs?
Well, apparently too much. I was charging, I think $10 a piece. But honestly, I had one of our friends from church order a whole set of them, and I made a bunch more, and nobody's ever bought any other ones, you know. But with the stake and everything, I think $10 a piece is not.
I wouldn't go any less than that.
I'm not going to go any lower than that.
Yeah. Let me see. What wood do you use most? So I like cedar, I like redwood, I like, I've been using some other species like white poplar lately, but I think, what do you using mostly?
I mainly use cedar just because it's accessible, you know, there's a lot of it. Should we turn it around, Dad? It looks kind of dark. Like,
Get inside? Yeah, go ahead and get inside and I'll turn it around. So yeah, I think Ryan's using mostly cedar. I'm using mostly cedar. Ryan has better cedar out here in California than I definitely do in Arizona.
Yeah, that's I think. Yeah, for my bigger signs, I'll laminate redwood 2x4s. But man, I gotta admit, I suck at joining those things and putting them together. I can't hardly get them straight. It takes way too long.
Is it better softwood or hardwood to make signs? I like softwood.
Softwood is
to me, although, you know, my version or my definition of softwood may in essence be a hardwood, because the determination of soft and hard is really the leaves or something. I don't know. I'm not a wood guy. I should be, but I like cedars, redwoods, pines.
Yes, I love my mama. She's pretty awesome.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
At least she will be if there's a plate made for me when I get back.
What software do you use, Ryan? What software do you use to design custom signs?
I just go on Rapid Resizer. You know, I have the Corel Draw, but that I haven't spent enough time getting to know it, I guess. I'm not very tech savvy at all. So the Corel Draw or the Rapid Resizer for me, super easy. Yeah. I lay out my sign, and then whatever template that they want or whatever that I don't have, I'll find an image. Honestly, finding the image that you want to use is a lot harder than using Rapid Resizer. You know, yeah. I was looking up an AR-15 image because I needed one that would fit in a certain space, and man, there's some of them were okay, but to get them to the right size to fit and look good, it was kind of hard.
Yeah. Hey Shane, how you doing, buddy? Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Which bit is better to make thin ends on the letters? Thin ends on the letters.
Do you mean like a script, like a cursive?
Maybe, yeah. It could be talking like cursive inset letters. I'm thinking the profile bit might be what you're looking for, Lewis. If it's super skinny, then I would go with the SC50. But profile bit, it'll get down pretty tiny.
Yeah, that's what I use almost all my script lettering. In fact, I had a profile bit that was all jagged and beat up, so Dad actually ground it down a little bit so it had a fatter tip to it. You know what I'm talking about, Dad?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It was actually like, it was missing 1/8 of an inch off the end of the profile bit, but it worked great for script.
So Eric Metzer, he uses Print Shop and then uploads it to Rapid Resizer. I didn't know you could do that. I don't use Print Shop, but that could be a good tip for somebody. Oh shoot, sorry about that. Let me see.
So the guy that asked to go down.
Which way? That way?
Doing a show tomorrow.
Oh, Scott.
Yeah, $10, 3 for 25, man. I maybe it just depends on the garden signs. Maybe it just depends on where you're going. But good luck. I hope you sell a buttload of them.
Yeah, I can't see selling them for any less than that. If the buyers aren't there for them, they're not. But if you run across the right buyer, you might buy a dozen of them.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Shane. Appreciate that, man. I make most of my stencils with the Cricut Maker. Yeah, that's that little. We talked about that the other day. A little vinyl cutter. I've heard really good things about it. I don't have a Cricut, but I've heard really good things about it. Do you think you guys will do any 3D or step-tiered signs? So I think you're talking about like multi-level, and I have done those in the past. I just haven't done any on video, I don't think. I did play around with it one time on video, but that might be something I do. Yeah, would you guys like to see that? Who is that? Big Miff Grows. Big Miff Grows. Quite a name there, Miff. That might be something I do. I've got actually several different projects in the works right now. Is it good to go deep into the wood to carve the letters, or do you have a favorite depth? I like, I don't go more than a 1/4 of an inch. It just depends on which bit it is, whether you're carving inset or outset. But typically, when you're brand new, and I don't know, I think you probably have found this when you're just starting out, almost always you're not going deep enough.
Even when we were doing the show, I laid out a sign and Dad said, that looks all right, but it's too shallow. Everything I was doing was too shallow. And then Dad helped me out, and it makes such a difference on how the signs look.
This was just like 1.5 inch inset letters.
Yeah. And
you just weren't going quite deep enough. And
if you think you're going deep enough, go a little bit deeper.
You're probably not. Yeah. Let's see. I'll keep that in mind, Justin. I think you're talking in regards to doing a multi-level depth sign. I've got so many different projects going on, but I'll see what I can do to put that on the list. Deep cuts look different from different angles. That is absolutely true. It gives it more depth and more light refraction from different angles when you go deeper. Absolutely. Can Eric carve him a new fence? Sure, Jam, no problem. I'll come out and customize your cedar fence for you. Let's see. All right, let's see. What else? Any other questions, guys?
Carving a 1-inch board.
How deep would you want to go? Into a 1-inch board? Again, I don't go much over a 1/4 of an inch unless it's really deep background, but 1/4 of an inch is plenty deep enough for what I do, and sometimes less.
Thanks, Justin.
By the way, like Ryan, Shop on Wheels, yeah.
You know,
What paint is best to use for wood after it's carved? If you're talking about spray, I like the black primer, Rust-Oleum black primer, or any good black primer, or the Marsh ink. And that's if you're spraying the carving. If you're painting on the surface of the letters or on the surface of the board, I like the one shot. I really like that stuff.
That stuff's really good. It's expensive, but it lasts quite a while, and it covers like
One
nobody's
coat.
business.
One coat. If you're putting it on top of finish, one coat works really well.
But that I would not recommend doing at a fair.
Yeah.
You can't really
you
do
can't.
that at a fair. It's
No.
just too time consuming, and not just that, you're in a closed area, even if you're not don't have a trailer, but you're going to get sawdust all in the paint, whatever. If you're going to paint, I would do that at home.
Yeah. If you're doing colors on surface at a on-site carving, that's where I use Sharpies. Sharpies, and that's only a temporary color. Tim Graves talks about paint pens. I've used paint pens in the past. I like them. I really do. But I kind of prefer now the one shot over the paint pens. Paint pens, I don't have as much control. Sometimes they tend to pool and puddle and kind of flow a little bit more than what I like. I've got the Marsh ink in colors, and you do as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Marsh ink in colors for spraying the carving. How deep will you go first pass with the SC50? Not to risk. It's the manufacturer. Whiteside makes the SC50. The manufacturer says no more than 3/30 seconds. Otherwise, you're taking a risk breaking your tip off. However, on softwoods, I think that is probably kind of overkill. I think you probably could go a little bit deeper if you're cutting softwoods, but if you're cutting oaks, maples, walnuts, those kinds of things, I think that's what they're referring to on the 3/30 seconds. If you're cutting pine or redwood or cedar, chances are you could go a little bit deeper than that and you not lose your tip. But I don't measure the depth too much, but I don't go much deeper than that because I only use the SC50 for extreme detail. Hardly ever use that unless it's way extreme detail.
Who's that?
Tessia. I've talked to Tessia.
Marsh ink on Amazon now. I started using more Marsh ink, and I was getting it for like $4.90 a can. Before it was, I think, like $8.
Yeah.
But the black Marsh ink it went way down in price. I'm getting that for cheaper than I was the black primer.
And that is true, Tessia. I've never seen Walmart or even hardly any retail place, unless it's an office supply, carry Marsh that you can just walk in. You just about have to order it online. You just about have to. I think there is a place over in Stockton where you bought it and I bought it, where you can walk in and walk out with it. But other than that,
but they only had black and white.
Yeah.
It's not like they had a bunch. Lacquer thinner to transfer, laser to transfer, or something else. So, Dad, at one point, I was watching Dad's videos because I do watch them, and he was doing the lacquer transfer process with a laser jet, and I was going to get a laser jet, but then he found the freezer paper that you can get on Amazon for your inkjet, and that's awesome. It works so simple. Just make sure you don't leave that paper in your printer, and then your wife prints up important paperwork on that, and then she yells at you. It's never happened
That's
to
a
me.
theoretic.
Yeah,
that's a
I'm just
theoretical
saying,
thing.
It's possible.
It could happen.
Does Ryan have a YouTube channel? No.
Does Ryan have a YouTube channel? No,
No.
Ryan does not have a YouTube channel as of yet.
Yeah, as of yet. Someday I'll take over his.
Yes, that's right. Eric, thanks for the advice on the critter sprayer. I finally got it spraying really well. Good. Excellent. I'm glad you got that solved, Bert. Glad I can help, buddy. Lacquer thinner is great for laser transfer. You know what? And that's terrific, Joyce. If the lacquer thinner and the laser jet's working for you, great. It does work good. It's just there's a lot of people that don't have laser printers, and they have inkjet printers. So if I had a laser printer and didn't have an inkjet printer, that's exactly what I'd be doing, and it does work good. What have you found to be your best customer response area when it comes to selling social media, shows, etc.? What have you found to be your best customer response area when it comes to selling social media or shows?
Well, the thing about doing shows,
good question.
Even when I do the fruit stand over on 120 here with my trailer, I do that most Saturdays. Sorry, it's getting hot in here, so I took my hat off.
Wow, you got a nice.
I know, I look like a quail. Anyway, the thing about going to shows is people are there specifically to spend money. So you don't have to really convince them to spend money they weren't planning on spending. Anytime somebody goes to a show, all there is to do there is spend money. So it's easier to make money that way. Social media, obviously, you can have a wider audience or wider demographic. And I have, sold signs off social media before, but so far shows has been the best way for me.
Yeah. Bill, you say in Colorado you're having trouble finding black primer. Remember, I did a video not that long ago where I talked about if you can't find black primer in Walmart, go to an auto parts store. That black primer that they use for body work, a black primer, I've used automotive black primer and it seems to work pretty well. So you might give that a shot, Bill. If you can't find the Rust-Oleum black primer at Walmart, try any good automotive black primer, and all auto parts stores should have that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll work for you.
Or the Marsh ink on Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, that's most of what I use now.
Yeah. And Ray Lawrence says Amazon is a great source for Marsh black, but you need to buy a 3-pack.
Really?
That hasn't been mine. Yeah, that hasn't been my my experience. You should be able to buy a can at a time. It depends on the seller, I guess. Do you find that people at fairs want their sign right then? How many of them how many takeaway projects do you get? Okay, so that's a good question. Because you had some of,
Yeah, I had to come home and carve 3 or 4 signs. So especially because I don't think we could have handled a whole lot more business than we got. Because, we were going constant,
pretty
right?
much, yeah.
So, if somebody wanted a script or a script font or, one guy wanted a mountain lion. I don't have a mountain lion template. But I told him, hey, I don't have that, but I can ship anywhere in California for $10. And, that's, I ended up shipping out 2 signs, that were fairly local, and it cost me $17, So,
and they ordered it right there.
They ordered it there,
Yeah.
and I had them pay for it there.
Yeah.
And then, they had my business card with my phone number and everything on it, so they knew I wasn't trying to rip them off. But, and if people, there's a couple people said they didn't want to pay right then and there, then I'm not going to carve your sign. I've had that issue happen a couple times, one of them with a friend. So, take the money and, just be honest. Tell them, hey, I'll have it by the end of this week shipped out, and I'll give you a call when it's done.
Yeah. Do you find that people at fairs, do other vendors complain about the router noise? I've done a lot of fairs, craft shows, horse shows, not once ever. Never. Never happened.
The only thing we had is a guy come up to us last year, and he was complaining sawdust was getting on all of his stuff.
Yeah.
So I gave him my little Milwaukee blower, and I said, sorry, here, I'll blow it off for you or whatever. And then on Sunday when we pulled up, my wife heard somebody say, oh, they're pulling in right here. But that might have just been because they were setting up. I don't know.
I have had people say, vendors that were close to me say that they liked the noise because it attracts people. I've had that. And there have been times where I wanted to be really, really cognizant of being, if you're close to food, the hot dog guy or whatever. But generally speaking, when you're booking your spot, a lot of times the people that give you your spot, they'll take into account what you do that you're sawdust generating. So it just hasn't been a big deal for us, especially if you're in a trailer, because you kind of keep
not
it
as bad, yeah.
contained within the trailer. It's not that bad. Flat black works. Okay.
Somebody asked a question. I saw it on there.
Oh, up here?
Yeah, it was up a little bit more.
Oh, this way?
Yeah, a little more. Sorry, we're trying to get to all the questions.
Yeah, sorry guys.
What was most challenging sign you guys have made that took a really long time? You've done a lot more challenging signs than I have.
It seems like everyone I do these days are challenging. Probably that DIY creators one that I did a few weeks ago. That one was because it was a circle, and I was doing some different elements on it. That one took a long time, and it was challenging, but I was happy with the way it came out. That one was probably the toughest one lately. What are you seeing as a fair price when charging per square foot? For me...
Wait, do you mean fair price like paying to go to do a fair, or a fair price like for your signs?
Oh, that's a good question. I was thinking fair price like for what to charge. I think that's kind of what he was talking about, but I might be wrong on that. Any plans of installing a dust collection system?
I'm having an issue with that right now. My water heater, I carve in my garage, my water heater's in there, and my wife has been saying for some time that that's probably not good, so we had the plumber come and check it out, and he basically said to stop carving in the garage. That's not an option. So I'm actually going to build a cabinet around my water heater and put air filters and an exhaust fan. But as far as dust collection, even in the trailer here, no, I don't like it. I don't. It just seems, I don't know.
But you're talking about dust collection in the garage, not in the trailer.
Right. Even in the garage, I'm not going to do dust collection. I'm just going to protect what needs to be protected and then have my daughter clean up the mess.
Dave looks younger on the live show tonight. Oh, that's perfect.
That's a
great
good
job, Jim. Oh, Dad will love that. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Hey, Greg. Let's see. Late again. Hey, Jim. What's BYOEP?
Bring your own ear protection.
Bring your own ear protection. Okay, that makes sense.
It's just like going to the gun range, you know?
What are customers paying you? Your signs are ranging anywhere from what, 20 to...
Well, I have the bone signs, you know, the little bone cutouts, and I charge $10. And then, so I have 4 standard sizes: 6 by 18, 6 by 24, 7 by 18, 7 by 24. And they go 25, 30, 30, 35. And then I charge $5 per piece of artwork or whatever.
Whatever template it is.
Right.
Or whatever.
So if it's a $35 board and they want the writing and they want two templates on there, then it's $45.
Gotcha. Yeah, Joe. Actually, Sweet Pea, that's a sign I'm going to be carving next week when I get back. When we get back over there. That's a sign I'm doing for Joe Murphy.
Butch White size generator I use.
That's a 3500, right?
A 3500, but you don't need that. Honestly, I don't even think I go past 500 watts. I bought that for our camping trailer because my wife refuses to sleep in a tent now, so she got spoiled. I think you can use a 1200 watt Predator from Harbor Freight for like $400 or $500, and that should run everything you got, including lights, sanders. It should run everything.
Yeah, that's a really good question, Carol. If carving signs with a local school mascot, is that public domain or would specific permission be needed? Honestly, I really don't know. I would not worry about that. Honestly, for me, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't give you legal advice, but I would never worry about that. For instance, the Escalon what is it, Escalon Cougars?
Cougars,
is
yeah.
the local high school.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any trepidation about carving a sign that said Escalon Cougars at all. Maybe technically speaking, you have to have legal permission to use it, but I wouldn't worry about that.
I think it also depends on where you live. If you live in a small town with 5,000 people, you're probably not going to get as much hassle as if you try to do something in San Francisco.
Yeah. What was your first sign and how did it turn out? There you go.
I thought that was to you.
Oh, that was to me? I don't know. That thing is dust by now. It's
Yeah.
been so long. It was horrible. I can't even remember, but I remember enough to think that I thought it was nice at the time, but it was pretty bad. It was horrible. Just getting to join, told my husband it's Friday night. He said, the heck with Friday Night Lights. Turning on the, oh gosh darn it. Where is it? Oh, that's Joanne. Hey, Joanne. Thank you.
Big myth. I like that.
Don't mass produce.
Don't mass produce. I like that because
Yeah.
one of the if people want mass produced stuff, they can go to Hobby Lobby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest factors, everybody I sell to says I like that you can customize it. You know, it's made by hand. Even though I have a template for my flags that I do, we put the holes in different spots. Every single one of them is different every time.
Yeah.
You will not get one that looks exactly like the other one.
Yeah. And if you want mass produced, get a CNC. That's
Yeah.
perfect. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you're doing, I've had many guys that started freehand carving, but because they got so busy selling stock signs and different things, they bought a CNC just for doing that. That's fantastic. That's great. I don't have any problem with that at all.
Yeah.
But that's another completely, that's apples and oranges. It really is. What is the largest sign in dimensions and what had the most letters?
I did a wedding sign that somebody ordered, and it was love is patient, love is kind, love has no, that entire Bible verse.
Yeah.
And I way underbid that one. My gosh.
Just the layout on it was
Just the
like
layout
forever.
took me like 3 hours.
And that's the thing is layout on stuff like that generally takes longer than the carving. What's your opinion on CNC to freehand? Well, like I just said, Lewis, CNC, I don't have any problem with CNC at all. I think
Excuse me,
that they both have their goods and their bads. The CNC stuff that the CNCs will do is just amazing. It just is. So I don't have any issues with them at all. It's not what I choose to do, but I don't have any problem with people carving CNC signs. I just sold my 25th sign. Great for you,
Right
Greg.
on, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, Greg. That's terrific. So, Greg, you just sold your 25th sign. How are you selling your signs? I'm sure everybody else wants to know. I want to know.
Yeah.
So, since we're
Okay.
here, how are you selling your signs? The true artist is freehand. Well, that's in the eye of the beholder, Lewis. I understand what you're saying. I just don't. I don't knock somebody.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
I don't knock somebody that uses a CNC to make signs. I just don't, because I've gotten criticized before for actually using an electric router rather than a hand router or a chisel. So it's all relative.
Yeah.
It really is. Facebook and Marketplace. Good for you, Greg. That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Another big one is OfferUp. I put my
Really?
my several different things on OfferUp. I put my flags on OfferUp, and one day I was doing my regular job in construction, and I got 3 signs ordered. So
Through OfferUp.
through OfferUp.
Really?
So
That's great.
I made a day's wage at work, and then made another $150 or whatever I made through OfferUp. That's the way to do it.
CNBC is a CNC a craft or a computer program? Well, Scott, that is even in I have seen people that are using a CNC, but then they're also doing some handwork with it as well. My sister and my brother-in-law are perfect examples. They do some of their lettering with a CNC, but then Steve does some background and stuff by hand. So it can be a mixture of both. So I wonder if it takes longer to program the CNC. In some cases, I think I could make a sign faster than a CNC. Just depends on what it is. CNC machines are way expensive. In some cases, yeah, but CNC machines have come way down in price. There's some pretty inexpensive ones out there now. Oops. A CNC bit in a router. There are some CNC bits that people, some people are using. That is true, Mickey. What do you use to cut out the templates you sell on your website? We use a laser. We've got 4 epilogue lasers that we use to cut that 1/8" Baltic birch. Eric, that's what we're using is lasers to cut those out. Got my cedar boards for $1.48. That's a good price for cedar pickets. That's what I used to pay like 5 years ago when I started buying them. More than that, actually. Hi, guys. The last sign I carved, the cedar picket was a little wet and got a bunch of fuzzies. That's what happens when it's wet. Yeah. Was the wet wood because of the fuzzies, or could it be a dull bit? It was the wet wood, probably. It could have been your bits too as well, Nathan, but it probably was the wet. Yeah, if you're carving wet boards, you will get stuff down in the groove that's kind of impossible to take out. You know, you just can't brush hard enough. You got to take a knife and scrape out. It's a pain. Carving wet wood is not fun.
Hi, Rita. It's my neighbor.
Hey, Rita.
Oh, I thought you were video.
We are.
We're
live.
We're doing a live video right now.
I just want to say hi anyway.
Where the sold them to me anyway. Oh, they were priced wrong. Oh, on those $1.48 for those pickets, but they sold them to you. Hey,
their mistake.
That's
right?
their bad.
Capitalism, baby.
Should have bought all they had. All right, boys and girls, we've got to get out of here. It's about time for us to. I think Vicky is waiting for us over at the. We're having a big barbecue, family barbecue tonight. So, have you guys broke a bit while carving? Only about 40, 50,000 times. Yes, I have, Lewis. It just happens. I forgot to tell you, Eric, that I tried out the
Koshigi bond.
Oh, yeah. That's Shoshugi bond technique. And I annihilated the spelling on that, I'm sure. But anyway, it worked out great. Shoshugi bond. Yeah. That's where they literally take a torch, and rather than lightly torch it, they just charcoal it. And then they scrape it with like a there's tons of videos on it. They scrape it with like a wire brush and stuff. It actually, and then they can add color to it. It actually, yeah. I was talking to Justin the other day about it. Justin actually sent me a video on it. Really cool. Okay, guys, that is it. If you have any more questions that we didn't get to, we missed somewhere, email me directly, eric@makerwoodsign.com. I will answer you. We will be back. Vicky is coming back on Monday. We'll be back full strength. I've already got a video that's going to post on Monday, a great interview that I did with a really good friend of mine, and his lady came from Connecticut, or from Canada. And then Wednesday, we're going to be doing a demo on Wednesday. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be. I got a couple things in mind. So anyway, guys, hope you guys have a
shameless plug for my daughter's YouTube channel. Gwen Roten. Voice of an angel, the songbird of her generation.
There you go.
Truly.
Yeah. So go check her out. Anyway, you guys, thanks so much for all the love, all the prayers, all the thoughts. It's just been overwhelming. If we didn't answer you individually, please know that we love you, and we so appreciate all of the outpouring of emotion and love that you guys have given us. We thank you so much.
Hey, Rita. I'll tell Rita.
We'll tell Rita when she comes back. Thanks, David. Anyway, guys, love you guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love for you to. And don't forget, please email me. Yeah, absolutely. Do that, Justin. He'll love it.
Yeah, I want to check it out.
Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday and then again on Wednesday.